You've seen them, right? Those diet plans that pop up online promising these just incredible results in only a couple of weeks. Well, today on Lean Logic Meals, we're grabbing one of them and putting it under the microscope. This one's a winter diet plan packed with Indian seasonal foods, and it makes a huge claim. So we're going to break it down, find the actual logic, expose the myths, and figure out what you can actually use for real sustainable fat loss. And there it is. Right out of the gate, the big promise. Lose 8 kilograms. That's over 17 pounds, by the way, in just 15 days. Look, I get it. The first time you read that, a part of you thinks, wow, that sounds amazing. But the real question we need to ask is it for real? And maybe even more important, is it healthy? Is this something that's going to last? That's exactly what we're here to find out. Okay, but before we get into the nitty-gritty, if you are just tired of all the confusing diet advice and you want simple, effective ways to lose fat that actually make sense, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and hit that like button, share this with a friend who's trying to figure this all out, and of course, subscribe to Lean Logic Meals. Our whole mission here is to cut through all that noise for you. All right, let's dive in. First up, the plan breakdown. Before we can critique anything, we've got to understand what we're actually looking at. So what does a day on this diet actually involve? So the day starts with this fat cutter drink. We'll get to that later. It's something like a ginger turmeric tea. Then you've got a high-protein breakfast, like a beetroot poha or a paneer stuffed basin sandwich. Mid-morning is pretty simple, just a piece of fruit, a few nuts. Lunch is a classic fiber-rich Indian thali. There's another light snack in the evening, and dinner is designed to be really easy to digest. Think sweet potato chaat or just a simple soup.
Now, it's super easy to look at a claim like 8 kilos in 15 days and just dismiss the whole thing, right? But that's not what we do here. A smart analysis always looks for the good parts first. And you know what? There are actually some really solid, science-backed principles hiding inside this plan.
And here's what it gets right. First off, the whole plan is built on whole, unprocessed foods. That is a fantastic foundation. It also makes sure to include protein sources like paneer and eggs in most meals, which is huge for keeping you full. It's absolutely packed with fiber from veggies and salads, again, key for satiety. Plus, it pushes hydration and uses seasonal ingredients. Honestly, these points, they're the cornerstones of pretty much any healthy eating approach out there. This lunch right here is a perfect example of what the plan does so well. Just look at this combination. You've got maki ki roti for that slow-releasing energy, sarson kasag, and a big salad loaded with fiber. This is exactly what a nutrient-dense, high-fiber meal should look like. It is literally designed to keep you feeling full and satisfied for hours, which makes staying in that all-important calorie deficit so much easier. This is a genuinely smart meal. Okay, so we've given credit where it's due. Now let's talk about the risky parts. This is where we need to put on our critic's hat and look for the myths and the red flags, the things that could actually end up sabotaging your progress in the long run. A little bit of logic goes a very long way here.
And we have to start with the very first thing on the menu, this quote-unquote ultimate fat cutter drink. You know, whenever you see language like this, it should be a massive red flag. The idea that any single drink can magically cut or melt fat off your body is probably one of the oldest and most profitable myths in the entire diet industry.
Let's just be crystal clear about this. The claim is that this drink cuts fat. The reality is simple science. Fat loss only happens when you are in a total calorie deficit. Full stop. Look, things like ginger and turmeric are great for your health, for sure, but they do not magically incinerate body fat. And confusing healthy ingredients with magic bullets is one of the biggest traps you can fall into when you're trying to lose weight. And all of that brings us right back to that headline promise, doesn't it? 8 kilograms in 15 days. Even if this diet puts you into a calorie deficit, is the weight you're losing actually fat? The answer, unfortunately, is almost certainly no, not all of it. You see, real, sustainable fat loss happens at a much steadier pace. We're talking about 0.5% to maybe 1% of your total body weight per week. When you start losing weight way faster than that, like 8 kilos in 2 weeks, you're losing a ton of water and, much, much worse, you are burning through your lean muscle. And losing muscle is the fastest way to slow down your metabolism, which is exactly why so many people get trapped in that awful yo-yo cycle of losing weight and then gaining it all back. So we're not just going to throw this whole plan in the trash. No way! We're going to upgrade it the Lean Logic way. We'll take its strong foundation of whole foods and all that good fiber, and we'll add just a few strategic tweaks to make it truly effective for long-term, sustainable fat loss.
And this right here illustrates just how simple these upgrades can be. Let's take that sweet potato chaat for dinner. On its own, it's mostly carbs. It's good, but we can do better. By just adding 150 grams of roasted paneer, you're not just adding food, you're adding over 25 grams of quality protein. That's a massive boost for keeping you full and preserving your muscle. Same thing with breakfast. Swapping out just egg whites for 2 or 3 whole eggs means you're now getting healthy fats and crucial nutrients from the yolk, which are essential for hormone function and, again, feeling.
And remember, all of these little upgrades, they all serve one master principle, helping you create and maintain a calorie deficit without feeling totally miserable. Adding that protein, adding those healthy fats, it makes you feel fuller on fewer calories. That is the secret to making this whole process sustainable. It's not about starving yourself, it's about eating smarter.
Okay, let's put this all together into a simple framework you can actually use. Think of these as the key principles that will help you analyze any diet plan you find online so you could become your own personal myth detector. So here's your toolkit. First, and this is the big one, always focus on principles, not these rigid, complicated plans. Understand the why, like why a calorie deficit works. Second, please prioritize sustainability over speed. I promise you, slow and steady actually wins the fat loss race. Third, make protein and fiber the absolute heroes of every single meal. They are your best friends for staying full and protecting your muscle. And finally, be a critic. Put on your detective hat. When you see buzzwords like detox or fat cutter, those alarm bells should be ringing loud and clear.
At the end of the day, if you remember one thing, let it be this. There is no magic, perfect plan out there. The real goal is to use these principles to build a system of eating that you can actually stick with, one that gets you the results you want and still fits into your real, actual life.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Based on everything we've talked about, what is one diet myth that you are going to officially stop believing starting right now? Maybe it's the whole fat cutter drink idea, or maybe it's the belief that you have to lose weight at some crazy speed to be successful. Whatever it is, letting it go is your first real step toward a smarter, more sustainable approach. Thanks for joining me today.